You are watching 32 teams in 32 days on the Game Time Sports Network. It's a great day, sports world. What's up to all the sports lovers, the haters, five sports right here on the GTSN. It's the Game Time Sports Network. A little delay, technical difficulties, but we here now. My man A-Dub, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Day two of a long grind here, man. Day two. So what's up, though?
Yeah, man. 32 and 32 this time. We are visiting the Motor City, the defending NFC North champion, Detroit Lions. This team at one point was the laughing stock of the NFL. And for the past 3 seasons, they've been picking up. So going from 9-8 in 2022. Dan Campbell has got this team 12-5, entering their first NFC Championship game in quite a long time. And then last year, 15-2, best record in the NFC, number 1 seed, and having 13 guys on IR, especially on defense, didn't help. And they got bounced out of the second round to the Washington Commanders. They started 1-1. They lost to Tampa, and then they won 11 straight before losing to the Bills. And if you look at some of those games, the scores of those games, let me just run them down to you. 26-20. Then they lost 2016 to Tampa. They beat Arizona 2013. Then they beat Seattle 42-29. Dallas, they allowed 9 points. And I think at that time that team wasn't really as functional anyway. 29 points to the Vikings, 14 to Tennessee. Green Bay scored 14 on them. Houston 23. So going down the stretch, the defense really was not all that effective. 20 points to the Bears, 31 to the Packers, 48 to the Bills, another 17 to the Bears, 34 to the 49ers, and then Commanders put 45 on them. So that defense was definitely the problem going down the stretch. Now resetting, starting a new year. What did you think about the Lions season last year?
Man, I mean, hopped off to a great start. You say 1-1, and they won 11 straight, I believe you said.
Yeah.
We kind of seen inklings of it the year before, them going 12-5 and losing to the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship. I believe they should have won that game. Ben Johnson
won the first half, by the way.
Won the first half. And I know Ben Johnson's the OC, Dan Campbell. He made some questionable calls, but once you're that, you have to live and die by those calls. And then ultimately they fell on the sword. But so you see inklings in 2023, and 2024 was just boom. Here we go. Here we are. More weapons. Laporta coming into his own. Jared Goff, coming over from LA. Him having the season he did really stamped him as the guy. The Motor City got behind Jared Goff. I'm not saying that he didn't have that kind of love in LA, but he does. The Detroit was way more behind him than LA ever was. Yes, he did take the Rams to the Super Bowl, but I feel like Detroit embraced him as one of their own. Jameer Gibbs came, broke out JMO. He had, I don't know, I can't help me if I'm wrong, but I believe Jameson was suspended for the first couple games from, or might have been last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you got
I, I,
David.
think, I think it was because he only played 15 games. He started
Yeah,
11.
he was suspended a couple. And then you got David Montgomery coming over doing what he do. He's automatic 6 points at the goal line, and the defense, like we said, they started off very very well, but then injuries caught up to them. 16 players on IR. Your superstar number 2 overall pick from a couple years ago, Aiden Hutchinson, towards ACL week 2. I believe, and I think week 1 he had like 5 sacks. So he was on that Chandler Jones pace, just killing, the first couple of games of the year, and then you lose Liam McNeil later on in the season to the same thing. Um, Alex Anzalone, you lose him. Khalif Raymond, players like that, and then you just start dropping like flies. And then you're depending on your rookies to come in, Terran Arnold, Brian Branch come in and carry the load a little bit. So Detroit, they were the team to beat. Yes, they were 15-2, but ultimately, like you said in the beginning, the defense was the issue, health was the issue, and we can, going forward, which we'll talk about here in a few seconds, that if you look at their draft, they drafted, a certain area of the football field, um, the trenches on both sides of the ball. So definitely, yeah, man. I think they're short of that coming back healthy, and we're looking forward to 2025 to see if they can repeat what they had going off in 2024.
Offensively, they were ranked second in the past. So one of the best offenses, well, if not the best offense in the league last year. Defensively, in the past, they were ranked 30th. So at the bottom of the barrel. And then on the rushing side of the ball, in the run, they were ranked sixth. Against the run, they were ranked fifth. Jared Goff had a pretty much I would say a career year. I don't think it's career years in terms of yards, but 37 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, and got a career high in completion percentage with 72.4. As you spoke on Jameer Gibbs, man, ain't that boy something?
Mm-mm.
I mean, especially when he get in space, just the things that he can do. The Anyways, 1,400 yards, 1,412 on the yards, 16 touchdowns. I believe that led the league in rushing touchdown category with 250 attempts, 5.6 per. And then David Montgomery played 14 games. He got injured. And he went for 1,000 yards the year before, and I think he had 1,000 yards twice when he was in Chicago. But if he did not get injured, that would have been another 1,000 yards for him.
100%.
So 775 and still 12 touchdowns and 4.2 per. That ain't bad, considering. I mean, that's just the bulk of your run game right there. On the receiving side of the ball, Amon St. Brown, he got paid last offseason, I believe. 141 targets, 115 on the catches, 1263.
Mm.
1263, and I believe that was his third straight 1,000 yard season. And in his rookie season, he had 912. Jameson Williams, as we spoke on, he missed some time, but he still racked up 1,000 yards, 1,001 to be exact.
Mm.
And he's going to be one of the players that I spotlight later on. 7 touchdowns. Sam Laporta is still a big part of this offense. Tim Patrick contributed in some things, and I think they lost some players, but they also gained some people. They gained some weapons, as you spoke on. Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch unanimously top 3 safety unit in the league. I mean, Kirby Joseph led the league in 9 interceptions. And then with Brian Branch, he had 4 interceptions. And considering the things that the other things that he can do, with let's see here, 109 tackles, and he had 8 tackles for a loss, 6 quarterback hits. Like, To me, at least top 5.
Oh, I ain't gonna argue with you. I'm definitely. I'm
Okay.
sitting in my head. I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, let me see. You got Kyle Hamilton and was it Marcus Williams last year, if I'm not mistaken, in Baltimore, and you had, I think it's Marcus Williams. I could be wrong. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. So,
Yeah, he was.
we're gonna go back. We're gonna talk about that. So definitely.
And then you look at like one of the issues for this team, pass rush. And Aiden Hutchinson played 5 games. And he was leading the league with at the time I think he was leading the league with 7.5 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
He's at the end of the season, he still led the team with 7.5 sacks. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane that the pass rush was just that non-existent up there. So, and still, even with even if you look at the roster now, pass rush is still a need. So there's still guys out there, whether if you want to get a Von Miller for, a year rental, you don't know how long he's playing, but just to get some kind of body in there. And Marcus Davenport, he got injured as well last year too. So he's going to have to be able to stay healthy. If he's healthy, I mean, hey, we'll see what you have in it. Aiden Hutchinson is supposed to be 100%. So we'll see what happens with that. Do you want to let's since we ran it back already, let's go through the roster breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
So at the quarterback position, we already know what's going on with Jared Goff, and then you bring in Kyle Allen, who is a serviceable
Journeyman.
backup, journeyman, and then Hendon Hooker, who you drafted in the 3rd round a couple years ago. I mean, he's still there. You go to the running back position. You got your top 2 with Jameer and David. Craig Reynolds has done some stuff. Justin Jackson has done some stuff. And then Sione Vaki, good special teamers. Other than that, like throw the best guy out there to see who can get RB3 and 4. And as far as the receiving unit, you already know what you're getting with them. And we're going to talk about a rookie later on, Isaac Tesla, who I feel really good about. And he just reminds me of what Dan Campbell wants to build in Detroit. If people out there, if you haven't seen Isaac Tesla's film, I mean, it's not spectacular, but it just if you're looking at this offense and what they can do in this offense and the things that he can do, he just kind of matches up. What you think about that?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I haven't. They traded up for Isaac Tesla in the 3rd round, so I really don't know too much about Tesla, but for what I'm saying, he's a big body guy. Not a lot of wiggle to his game, but in this league that you don't have to have wiggle. You just have to be able to make catches and run routes and be open for your quarterback. So yeah, man, like the offensive side of the ball, like you said before, you got your main players, your Jamesons, your Amon Ross St. Browns, your Sam Laportas, Tim Patrick, coming, I remember him playing with the, whatever that team is called out there in Colorado. So I remember him. He's a solid vet. He's a good piece in the locker room. Like I said, the roster's pretty much there. The roster's there. They have a Super Bowl championship roster right now. It's just this, can everybody stay healthy going for all 16, 17 games or however many games it is.
Jameson Williams going into a contract year. And, some people will probably say that he's kind of like proven himself a little bit. I don't think so.
Nah.
Not just off of 1 year of 1,000 yards. And I think the year before that, like he's been improving ever since like he came into the league. Like his first year, he only had 1 catch for 41 yards, and he only played 6 games. And I don't remember did he get injured? Did he get hurt? Or
I don't remember. I can't remember, but that was like kind of weird. him only having one catch for 41 yards and place it. I don't know. It may have got injured, and
But
then
but but he scored a tug in that year though.
hey, if you're gonna catch him, make him count, bro. Make you know what I'm
and,
saying.
and then 2023, he had 42 targets with 24 catches and 304 yards and 2 touchdowns. Played 12 games, started 10, and then this past year 15 and 11, and then with the 58 and the 1,001 7 touchdowns. Career year, but I need to see it again.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got to see it again because you're gonna. I'm not. He's not going to get that top. He's not going to get St. Brown money, but
Yeah.
he's going to get whatever the going rate for a wide receiver 2 is in the league now. I'm not really sure because if you ask me, T. Higgins, he's making 28 and he's considered a wide receiver 2, so he's not getting that. Jalen, I can see him a little below in that. Jalen Waddle's making 28, so I can see him being maybe 23, 24, a little tick below that. I think that's reasonable, Yeah, but definitely not St. Brown money. And he has to prove it. You know what I'm saying? Is he a classic case of, hey, I'm in Ben Johnson's offense and I'm a product of that? Or even though the new offensive coordinator that's taking over for Ben Johnson, they run the same thing. Hey, can you duplicate that again without Ben Johnson? We all know he's in Chicago now. He took that show on the road. So it's definitely an interesting year for Jameson. I'm curious to see how he balls out because everybody knows he has the electrifying speed, fast forward, he can get vertical on you in a quick of a hiccup. But can he, be a solid number 2 for Jared Goff, settle Jared Goff down, find a little the holes in his zone, beat press coverage, and all of that, fine things that come with being a productive wide receiver in the NFL.
Trenches. Left tackle, you got Taylor Decker. Right tackle, you got Penei Sewell, probably the best right tackle in the league. What's the smile for?
Oh, I was agreeing with you because I was like, him and Lane Johnson, 1A, 1B. But I'm taking Penei because
Yeah.
I'm taking Penei. It's not close. I was trolling.
And then at left guard, you got Christian Mahogany, who was drafted last year, I believe.
Yes.
Tate Ravage, the rookie from this year from Georgia, and then Graham Glasgow. So the depth behind them, Dan Skipper, who's been there for quite some time, Natane Muti, Michael Neese, Tristan Colon, Kobe Sorsdale. This offensive line still probably one of the best offensive lines in the league right now.
Yeah, I believe so. I think they had a couple retire. What's my boy Frank Ragnow? He retired, I believe.
Yeah,
Ragnow retired, and he was a dog. So
yeah.
I mean, that's why they, like I said earlier, the theme of this draft, hey, replace the trenches because people getting older, they're leaving, they go doing, going to other teams, getting contracts, retiring. So, yeah, man. But those 2 tackles that you do have, Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell,
Also lost Kevin Zeitler too to the Titans.
yes, Kevin Zeitler. It was another name I couldn't think of, but that's one as well. But yeah, having Penei and Taylor Decker as your bookends, hey man, that's not a bad job at all, man.
As we discussed a little bit earlier, on the line, Aiden Hutchinson comes back. He's going to be a spotlight player because he's got to get paid. You got a lot of people that need to be paid, particularly on his defense. With I know Kirby Joseph got paid. You got to pay Brian Branch. You got to pay Jack Campbell. Who else?
Aleem
McNeil.
McNeil got his bag. He got his bag last year.
Then you're going to have Terry and Arnold in the future as well.
Mm-hmm.
He played better down the stretch, but I think this is going to be a big year for him as well. So there's a lot of guys that you're going to have to pay. And I was listening to the draft dudes, and they had asked the question, do they go out and trade for a Trey Hendrickson? And it was a little bit of a debate there because you can that's a tough situation right there. Do you trade for a Trey Hendrickson knowing that you would probably have to pay him, but knowing you're going to also have to pay Aiden Hutchinson as well? I don't think that's smart. Or do you just stay away from that?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm gonna go out and trade for a pass rusher, no disrespect to Trey Hendrickson, I'm gonna go get T.J. Watt. You know, if I have to pay one, you know what I'm saying? Yes, you know, in my humble opinion, you got both. They both want to get paid, and what's really happening right now? I know we're going on a tangent of pass rushers. I think the Bengals are actually waiting to see what the Steelers do with TJ before they go in and negotiate with Trey. I think it's exactly what happened. It's like who's playing chicken, who's going to sign first, so my agent can say, hey, if this guy got this, I should be in that ballpark. But back to your question, I go trade for TJ Watt, but if Trey Hendrickson's on the table, I'm getting at least 15 plus sacks a year. I know that for sure. Hey man, if the deal is right and both sides can be fair and compensated properly, sure, I wouldn't mind it at all.
We touched on Marcus Davenport having to be healthy. That's going to have to be a big circle around there because since both of those guys were injured last year, Aleem McNeil, he was also injured last year. He comes back. One of the better interior guys in the league. And then DJ Reader there as well, I think was signed there in the offseason behind him. Tyleek Williams, the first round draft pick.
That was my next guy. I would say Tyleek Williams coming from Ohio State. Man, I'm tell you what, man, Ohio State had some guys, man, that came out that were first rounders that could possibly slip to the second round. But if you want to get that extra year of control, take them in the first round. I know people had late first round grades on Tyleek. I didn't think he was going to be a choice for Detroit far as being on the defensive line. I thought they were going to pass rusher. But Tyleek has some interior pass rush potential. So I understand. And you want to have some insurance for Liam McNeil with him signing a contract and getting hurt at the same time. So I thought they might have would have went edge first, but like I said, we got to give Aiden some help on the line regardless. So I mean, I understand the pick for sure.
Yeah, and then the linebacker group, Derek Barnes was another one that was hurt. Alex Anzalone, when he's in, it just seems like that defense plays a lot better. And then with the corner position, you got DJ Reed, a big offseason acquisition.
That was huge.
Considering that you lost my man that went to New England,
Carlton Davis.
You lose out on Carlton Davis. You sign DJ Reed, veteran, solid corner. Give Terry and Arnold a complimentary piece over there to help that defense out that was ranked 30th last year.
Yeah, and they had my boy Meek Robinson, Raider legend Meek Robinson, playing the slot for him a little bit last year. I didn't know what to expect from him when he came to Detroit, but when he played, when he was pressing the action, he did not disappoint. So he filled in great for the secondary last year. So that was a huge pickup, and I expect him to get. I think it was a 1 year, 2 year deal he signed with Detroit. Don't hold me to it, but I expect him to get compensated and re-up here this year or at the beginning of next year for sure.
Most definitely. So going back to their draft picks, so they I think they went basically defense. I want to say, I'm trying to pull it up real quick.
They went Tylee, Tate, Tesla, 1, 2, 3.
Isaac, another guard, Miles Frazier in the 5th round. They defensive end Ahmad Hassanan from Boise State. and then a safety, Dan Jackson out of Georgia, and then Dominic Lovett out of Georgia. So
Is is
They went Georgia heavy.
Yeah, so it's Miles Frazier. Is he's the offensive lineman from West Virginia? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Nah, he's an offensive guard from LSU.
LSU. I'm thinking about the other. I'm thinking about Zach Frazier. I'm not sure, but yes, even regardless, they went offensive line trench heavy for sure. In this draft.
Definitely to add to what they have, and then like I said, like the Isaac Tesla pick in the third round when they traded up, I think that's going to be really key. And then depending on what Tyreek Williams does, like you need as much pass rush as you need. They were sixth against the run, as I said earlier. So, um, I don't know. I think this team, depending on these two offense and defense, they get two different coordinators, two new coordinators. Um, does it stay the same? Is it a little different? How do you think that works out?
I'm gonna speak on the offense here. I think the offense stays the same, far structurally wise, because you know whatever Ben Johnson was running in last year, it worked. You know what I'm saying? Put points on the boards. They was explosive. I think Dan Campbell knows what he wants, and he's seen it before. But I do each coordinator. Don't get me wrong; they have their thing. They want to put their wrinkle into it as well. So you might see a little change with some of the stuff they do, but it's nothing going to be major to where you won't notice that. Hey, that's some of Ben Johnson's offense being ran from last year. So I think it stays the same. The defensive coordinator definitely will. And Glenn's not there no more. He's with the Jets, and he was a big voice on the defensive side of the ball. So you might see some changes, some philosophy changes. For the most part, the assistant coordinators on both sides of the ball just got elevated. If I'm not mistaken, they didn't go outside the building to get anybody. So the message will still be the same. Principles, philosophy will still be the same. Just somebody new want to throw their own wrinkle onto their scheme and present it to the league.
You want to talk schedule?
Yeah, let's go, man. Because schedule, man. They got a first place schedule. So anybody that was in first place in their division, you will see the Detroit Lions. So that means the the Eagles, I believe, the Chiefs, all them bad boys you will see on the Lions schedule here in 2025.
So they start week 1 at Green Bay. That's tough already. Then they're at home week 2 against the Bears. Week 3 they're at the Ravens.
At the who? Ravens?
Yeah.
I thought, I thought you said Raiders week 3. So, that's an L for them.
Yeah,
Oh,
we not even worried about them. And then
such a
at the
hater.
Raiders, at the Raiders week 3 against the Browns at home in week 4. So then you see Myles Garrett. Week 5 you're at the Bengals. Week 6 you're at the Chiefs.
Mm,
Week 7 you're back at home against Tampa, and that's who you lost to last year. Then you hit the bye week. You face Minnesota at home. You're on the road at Washington, at Philly. Then you back at home against the Giants and the Packers and the Cowboys. Before hitting the road again against LA, against the Steelers, back at home, at the Vikings, before finishing at home against the Bears.
mm,
That's 2 teams that we covered so far that's got some tough schedules.
right.
And I think Minnesota is a little bit more tougher than the Lions schedule, considering what both teams did. Like both teams were good last year, but we can say that the Lions, even though having 13 guys undrafted, having 13 guys on injured reserve, you still, beat up on a Minnesota team.
Yep.
But I think that this Lions team, that they got a tough schedule, and I don't know how this is going to fare out. I think that they may take a step back this year, considering with the two coordinators, and it may start out a little rusty, and it may not. I mean, who knows? But we shall see. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I think next. I think this whole, and I know it's, we got a guest coming on tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. I think this whole division in general will take a step back, only because they're going to beat up on each other. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's like barring injury. I think this is like the tightest division out of all the divisions. I believe. I could be wrong, but this is my personal opinion. They're going to beat up on each other. So if you think if you beat Minnesota twice last year, 2025, you're probably going to split with them. So that's another loss in the win column. So you're probably going to split with the whole division, and then you're playing a first place schedule because you went 15-2. So you're going to get the Chiefs, you're going to get the Ravens, you're going to get the Chargers, Cowboys, Rams. So you're going to get the best of everybody. So the best teams in the league. So naturally, it's only right that they go back and lose maybe 3 more games, maybe, than what they won last year. So instead of being 15-2, well, you might see 12 and whatever, 13 and whatever. And like you said, they had some one-score games last year. The ball could have went either way. It's like we talked about on the Vikings episode yesterday, winning 20-13, 20-26. The ball can go the other way, so that could be another loss. So I'm expecting to step back, maybe like 2 or 3 games. So instead of 15-2, they be 12 and whatever, 12-5 or whatever the number is. I'm not sure. So yeah, I definitely see a step back for the Detroit Lions in 2025.
Yeah, you winning 11 straight, and then you dropping 48 to Buffalo that next following week. Like that's
Yeah, I mean, but Buffalo do got the MVP of the league, and he's like that. So I mean, look, ain't no shame getting 48 dropped on you by Josh Allen. Man, I'm telling you right now, ain't no shame in it because the way he was playing last year, he could have dropped 48 on anybody, except for the one team I needed him to drop 48 on. That he seemed that he always want to lose to when it comes to the playoffs. But we ain't got to Buffalo yet. That's down the road. But yeah, man, ain't no shame in dropping, getting 48 dropped on you by Josh Allen. Ain't no shame in it at all.
so my players to watch, and I got the graphic pulled up here. Jameson Williams, Jack Campbell, and Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold, I definitely want to see improve. He did improve, going down the stretch, but I want to see if he can be able to keep that up. Jack Campbell, embracing himself as one of the better linebackers in this league, and then Jameson Williams, he's trying to get paid, so need him to see if he can eclipse the 1,001 yards that he had last year. And then as far as my rookies to watch, I'm watching Tyleik Williams, of course. Got to watch that first round pick, and then Isaac Tesla, and then Tate Ratledge, because losing out on Zeitler, seeing who Ratledge got a big job ahead of him. You might want to see if he's that guy now.
Man, look at
And then
Tate Ratledge.
behind him he's got
I said, look at Tate Ratledge, man.
yeah
He looking like
he's just he does he already looks like he's gonna be a star in this league right now.
yeah, I agree.
So yeah, so those are my two. With the players and the rookies to watch. Uh, what are you expecting from this team this year? I don't know if we already touched on this, but like, what do you really see out of this team this year?
I'm expecting the Lions to be in every ball game that they're playing. Um, that's if everybody stays healthy. I hope Aiden Hutchinson comes back 100%. We know coming off of ACL, modern science is a lot better than it was 20, 30 years ago. 20, 30 years ago, man, you tell your ACL, you out dang near the next season. And then modern science started happening. AP, he tore his ACL in 2010, 11, 12. Came back the next year, won MVP of the league, man. So, modern medicine is always advancing. So I'm hopefully he comes back and be 100% and dominate like he did at the beginning of last year. He's a Michigan Wolverine, so it's already in his blood anyway to be that alpha. And I just need him to pick it up and continue to press forward. So I'm expecting this team to be fighting for the division, if not definitely a wild card spot. I can definitely see 3 coming out of this division and Detroit being 1 again, like it was last year. So I'm expecting them to, be in the mix and compete for division crowns and playoff spots for sure. And I don't know if I told you, I said you had your players to watch, and I'm just going to add on to what your player to watch. One is going to be Aiden Hutchinson coming off the ACL, and another one I'm just going to name 2. I'm looking at Jared Goff as well, without Ben Johnson. Does he still have? Does he still have the same confidence going into this year? Does he still have the free roam or free reign to check plays, or does his OC, which I know he do, the OC has the trust in him to pull the trigger, make the right call. So seeing Jared Goff without Ben Johnson, that's probably my number 1 guy that I want to watch when we talk about or look at the Detroit Lions in 2025.
Yeah, you definitely have to see if he's gonna eclipse or if he's a little bit stay the same or have a drop off. I think that's very key. I do agree with you right there, especially on the defensive side of the ball as well. Like even though with Aaron Glenn's time there, like even last year, considering the guys that was on injured reserve, and then the year before, let me see real quick. The year before they were 27th in the pass, but they were still also good against the run as well. So, then you drafting Tyleik Williams, see if he can help with that run defense, making sure it stays afloat. I mean, they've been top 5 for the last couple of years. So, and then with the pass defense as well. You got to get better off that. You don't want Baker Mayfield coming in and throwing 300 some yards on you, or whoever the quarterback is, 300, 400 some yards on you. You don't want that. So, especially if you're going to try to compete for a Super Bowl, I think this team's window is like right now. I mean, it's been 2023. We wasn't expecting that for them to go to the NFC Championship game. 2024, like the window was right there. And I think the window is still right there. It's just, what is this offense and what is this defense going to look like?
Yep.
So, let's go more or less. So, more or less, Jared Goff had 37 touchdowns last year. Is he going to throw more or less than 37?
I'm going to say less, only because of natural progression of you losing your coordinator and having comfortability and, your new OC in your ear saying, hey, I want to do this. And so I'm going to say less. I'm going to say he had about 30. I'm going to say 30.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 14-12 on yards and 16 touchdowns.
I'm going to say
more.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is it more or less?
I'm going to say more on the – you said how many in yards?
14-12.
Ooh, and 16 touchdowns?
Yep.
I'm going to say –
Mind you, he had 63 targets, 52 catches, and 517 yards with 4 touchdowns as well.
I'm going to say – I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to say more yards. I think he might just take off this year because, couldn't nobody touch him last year. I'm going to say more than 14-12. And I'm going to say about the same in touchdowns. So, give my boy 1,500 yards on the ground, about 16 touchdowns, 12 to 16 touchdowns. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to say something crazy, say more.
Jamison Williams, more or less than 1,001?
Oh, my boy getting paid. He definitely getting more. Oh, he getting more. Oh yeah, that bag on. That bag on the way too. Oh yeah, definitely. You want to pick up that 5th year option at least. Yeah, he's getting more than 1,001, and he might sneak around 1,100, 1,200. Depends on what Laporta and St. Brown do with the offense. So I'm gonna say more.
Aiden Hutchinson, 7.5 sacks last year. Depending if he stays healthy,
more
or not.
He just you just have to go
So
more,
more
man.
than 7.5.
Yeah, more because you have to go more, man. Because who else right now can you depend on besides Aiden Hutchinson to get to the quarterback? You got to go more. What might be in the 12 to 15 range this year, knowing the player that he is from his Michigan days, how much he care about ball. Oh yeah, he might be creeping up in that Myles Garrett and Trey Hendrickson range if everything clicks for him.
He was well on his way to like high double digits and with just 7.5 in 5 games last year. So let's go. All right. Kirby Joseph. Kirby Joseph had 9 interceptions last year. Does he eclipse 9 interceptions, or does he go lower than 9 interceptions?
Naturally, he's gonna go lower. So I give him about 2 or 3. Because that boy was prime. He was prime Ed Reed last year, boy. I swear. Prime Ed Reed. I was like, what in the world? I know one game I think he had like a couple games with multiple interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, yo, he's going off. And I think he's young too. How old is Kirby? He's young. He's like 20.
24.
Yeah, he's a young pup, man. So he's probably one of those top, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Detroit got dogs, top players. They probably got like 3 or 4 players that's top 25 under the age of 25 on that roster, which is crazy. Aiden, Kirby, Laporta. I don't think Jameer's
very
25.
young.
I don't think Jameer's 25 yet. I could be wrong. But yes, less for Kirby. Less. I'm gonna say 3 for Kirby Joseph.
Jameer is actually 23. So we'll talk about a young team. And then Kirby Joseph did have 2 interceptions. That was against San Francisco. That was that Christmas Eve game. No, it wasn't. It was 12:30. So that was New Year. That was before New Year's Eve. I remember that. I think that was a Monday night game.
Mm-hmm. Balled out.
And then there's one more. There's one because I gave 4. So I want to go a little bit of a boring pick here. I'm going to say Jack Campbell, 131 total tackles. Does he go more or less?
I'm going to say more.
Because considering that he is, I believe he's in line to be getting a contract as well too. So
yeah,
I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, because him and Gibbs came out the same draft. I mean, Gibbs was 12, and I think Campbell was like 18 in the first round that year, whatever year that was, 2022. And everybody was like, "Why is Brad Holmes taking a linebacker in the first round?" And I think it's more because he's in contract year. Want to ball out, get paid. So I'm gonna say more. He might be running that 140, 145 range.
Yeah, definitely a big year for him. And I was gonna throw one more in there, but I think we're good on that. So my overall projections for this team, I think that they will be a playoff team. Now, will they go deep into the playoffs this year? I'm going to say no, but of course it remains to be seen. But I'm going to say no, and I think the coordinators, I think the whole overall team chemistry. I don't I don't see them going deep, especially with the rest of the NFC North potentially getting better, and then the rest of the NFC as well. So that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say divisional round.
That's fair. I'm gonna say they make it to the wild card spot and probably lose to somebody like the Cowboys or somebody like that in the wild card game.
That's nasty.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah. So you think we covered everything with the Lions?
Yeah, man. I think we covered everything with the Lions, man. Like I said, it's it's couple players on that team I want to spotlight. I want to see Jared Goff. I want to see Aiden Hutchinson. For me, the two stars on both sides of the ball. I look Sam Laporta gonna be Sam Laporta. Amon Ross St. Brown gonna be a slot demon regardless. Wherever you put him, man, he's gonna win this matchup. Jameson, he's looking to get paid. Panay Sewell be the best right tackle in the game. I want to see how the rookies integrate and how they come along probably halfway through the season to help Aiden out. And Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph keep doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we covered most of everything for the Lions. It's just about, health and the offensive and defensive coordinators for them. What can they do to elevate this team and take this team to the next level? I think Dan Campbell, he's a hard-nosed grit coach. He's a Detroit coach through and through. I think the city feeds off the Lions, and when the Lions are good, as you can tell, when the Lions are buzzing, people are tuning in to watch them. So yeah, man, I think we covered everything with the Lions. This episode. Tomorrow is definitely gonna get that. Definitely gonna be real good. It's gonna be another mind here to give us some insight on this next franchise that we're going to be talking about. So tomorrow's going to be a fun one for me personally. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow. We have we're not going to leave it as a surprise for the audience. One more thing I wanted to touch on with Dan Campbell. He started in 2021, 3-13-1 and 9-8 in 2022. A combined record of 12-21-1. Last two seasons, 27-7.
Man, you know what that man said at the press conference, man? You got to go ahead and bite kneecap. That man was special when he said that. And everybody looked at him and was like, what? That's like everybody looked at Sirianni when he got hired.
I was just about to say Nick Sirianni.
I was like, what? But stuff like that, man, it's the grit grind that he has, man. And his football team has adapted that mentality and culture. And you see what they're doing, heading to the playoffs, NFC Championship since what? The last time they went that far, Barry was there running wild back in 93, maybe 93. So it's been some time, man. I think the fan base, my boy, shout out my boy Colin. He's a big Lions fan that we grew up with. So it was good to see him happy on my Twitter and stuff, talking crazy about the Lions, man. So it's good. It's good to see that the Lions are in a positive direction in the league, and it's one of the funnest teams to watch for sure.
Might as well go ahead and bring your Buffs out, man.
Hey, man, listen, man, we on the way to Buffs in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? We're on the way to Buffs in Michigan. We don't be doing no fugazi stuff too, man. It's real deal. We got Buffs on the sideline for sure.
Dan Campbell might had to have him a pair of Buffs sitting on that sideline as well, man.
Hey, man, he bring out a pair of Buffs, man. He might got another fan as a coach, man, for sure. So
I mean, hey, bringing this franchise to new heights that they haven't seen in a long time. A couple playoff appearances with Matt Stafford here and there, but they have not seen anything like this in quite some time in Detroit. And I mean, we already touched on it, but I'm very proud of the job that Dan Campbell has done there. We'll see if the trend continues, if he can continue to win, or if they take a downward spiral. I don't know I don't think they'll take a downward spiral, but the continuing of the winning ways that they've been doing or they've been having. What that remains to be seen. So good job by the Lions and good luck to them this year. And the tomorrow we'll be covering the Green Bay Packers with a special guest. So if you don't have anything else, my brother, any final thoughts, we're gonna go ahead and let the people go with this one.
Yeah, man. I mean, thank you everybody for tuning in. Um, please like, subscribe, share, pass the word along. Tell people, hey, some good content out here. We got some more surprises on the
Yeah,
way. Got some things up our sleeve. We've been working on for the college football season as we prepare for that. Yeah, man. But thank you guys again, and then we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for sure.
yeah. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, Game Time Sports Network, on Instagram, Game Time 365 Sports, and on Facebook, Game Time Sports Network, or just follow your boy at Larry Patterson. Um, for Amon Washington, we are out. And until then.
Peace out.